This all started when I sold everything I owned, moved off grid, and then subsequently moved back on grid because of a questionable landlord situation. So now I've got a living room and 3 bedrooms that I need rugs for. I've mostly been looking at Etsy because I love to source unique vintage wool rugs as much as possible, but that really might not be in our budget, especially in our living room, a high traffic area where we'll need at least a 9x12, if not 10x13. As per usual, I was scrolling through Pinterest late one night and a Ruggable ad popped up. I started scrolling through their 9x12s and what do you know, I actually like some of their rugs. I remember looking at their site a few years ago and not really liking much, but they've done a few collaborations recently that I am a pretty big fan of. Obviously this is not sponsored and I've never experienced any of these rugs in person, gifted or otherwise, so I can't comment on the quality or longevity or tactile feel of these rugs. I'm really only commenting based on the visual design that is printed or woven into the rug. So without further ado, let's look at some pretty rugs. Like I said, I already went through their entire selection of 9x12 rugs, all 63 pages, and opened up approximately 20,000 new tabs. I guarantee you don't want to watch me sitting on my couch scrolling through my phone for hours on end, so let's just get into it. Aside from the thumbnails while I was scrolling, I haven't opened up any of the pages to see the full-size images yet, so this is going to be just as much of a journey for me as it is for you. Okay, here's our first rug, if the picture will load. This olive green tufted rug. Yeah, I'm not mad at this. I've been really into stripes and checks and plaids recently, so anything with that going on is fun. And then this is a really fun border detail. I like borders on rugs. I think it helps define a space. The Court Natural and Rust tufted rug. It's fine. If you're going for a cooler color scheme like this, it's fine. I don't love it. I don't hate it. Shiloh check burgundy tufted rug. This is pretty neat. I like this a lot. Again with like a check type pattern, but it's got some interesting filled in bits. Oh, and it's got a little bit of a red border. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, I like that. I would put that in my space. And then there's also latte. A little more boring. I think I like the burgundy color better, but not bad. Architectural Digest Maha Natural Clay Tufted Rug. Out of all of their rugs, I like their Architectural Digest line the best. I think they were really successful with this. I'm not obsessed with the circles in this rug, but good color palette. There's enough going on that it's definitely a statement rug, but it's also neutral enough that it could just be a background rug, you know? Yeah, not bad. Ugh. Jonathan Adler Thebes Cognac Tufted Rug. It's definitely given me like Greek vibes. I love the browns. I love all the browns. I've been very into browns. Again, there's enough going on that it could be a statement rug, but it could also just be a background rug. Not checks and stripes, but it does kind of follow that grid pattern, and it does have a simple border around it, so I'll take it. Pastano Natural Black Tufted Rug. I like a stripe. I like a variation in stripe width, which is what we're getting here. Again, there's a bit of a border, which we love to see. I should really look up how to say his name. Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Jean-Michel Basquiat. Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Okay, no T. Close, very close. The Jean-Michel Basquiat Apologia Ivory and Blue Tufted Rug. If you're trying to add a pop of blue in somewhere and you want something a little more statement-y, this is really neat. I love his artwork. They did a collaboration like this with Keith Haring too, which is interesting because both of these artists are dead now. So I don't know where that money's going or what's happening with that. I imagine there's like a foundation that the artists essentially founded and that all of it's going towards that. Oh, hey, would you look at that? The Keith Haring Balancing Act Ash Gray Tufted Rug. If it'll load. Oh, and then one thing I have noticed while this is trying to load, this does say 3 times thicker, which some of them say. So if you are going to get a Ruggable rug, I would look for that. Why are you not loading? Okay, there we go. We don't have internet yet, so working with what we got. Yeah, no, this is a nice, like if you're looking for something neutral with like enough texture and stuff going on that it's not super boring, and then you like the added layer of Keith Haring as an artist, this is a great option to have that cultural influence in there without putting, I don't know, a rainbow flag on your wall, you know? So that's fun. The Vista Grid Chocolate Brown Tufted Rug. Kind of boring, very simple. I like the brown color. It's a grid. Not much to say about it. This is pretty timeless. You could definitely have this for many years to come. The Mason Olive Tufted Rug. Again, pretty simple, classic, timeless. It is following a grid structure, even though there isn't a grid here. There aren't checks or stripes or whatever. But yeah, no, I like the subtle variation in olive tones in those squares. It's a really nice olive green color, very neutral if you want it to be, but also green if you want it to be, depending on the context that you put it in. Oops, okay, well. Glen Plaid Tufted Rug. Oh, I did not look at this very closely. I've been into plaids, but not that plaid. It's like black and white with thin red stripes. No, not for me. I will be Xing that one off. Cyrus Rose Gold Tufted Rug. Sure. Yeah, if you're looking for something a little more traditional, it is, you know, kind of basic, but like, it's pretty. Yeah, I'll take it. I like that it's got a border. I like that the middle of this rug is a repeating geometric pattern, because the single medallions in the center of rugs just don't do it for me. I need a repeating geometric pattern for some reason. Oh, I love how you can hear my upstairs neighbor walking around upstairs on the recording. That's great. That's fantastic. The Fernanda Black and Tan Tufted Rug. Not mad at it. A little basic. It feels kind of like Mediterranean boho vibes. It's pretty for what it is. Aura Ombre Solid Sage Tufted Rug. If you're going for something a little bit more contemporary, this is a great option. I really think that I never would have thought about this. Just the gradient. Got in a couple different colors. They're all fine. I definitely like the green one best, but I am also literally wearing all green right now because green is my favorite color. So that's just what I like. Ooh, another Architectural Digest one. We've got the Ananda Natural Pop Tufted Rug. I like this because it's hard to find rugs with designs and patterns that are weird and different and unique with like a couple pops of color, but it's like mostly neutral, and the whole rug is kind of like an art piece, but it's also not ugly. So I think this is a great option for that. This is the only color way available, but yeah, not mad. Another Architectural Digest. I have no idea how to pronounce that. La Joie Natural Multi-Color Tufted Rug. This would be great for some sort of like maximalist space. I can definitely see this in a celebrity's home tour. There's so much going on. This is absolutely a statement rug. If you're putting this rug in your home, you absolutely need to tone down everything else that's going on, because this rug is a lot. Intentionally so, and I do love it, but it's a lot and you need to be aware of that. Okay, the Ophelia Navy and Redwood Tufted Rug. It's fine. It's from their Founders collection, which is their like traditional rugs. I do like this collection. It just seems a little boring and like I've seen it before. So is it worth over $1,000? If you need a washable rug, maybe, but I'm not like obsessed with it. It's fine. Nico Solid Olive Tufted Rug. This is just a plain ass green. I like it though. I'm actually, if I can figure out a fabric that I like, I'm thinking of reupholstering this couch, and I want a very similar rug to this in our living room. So this is definitely an option if I can find a fabric that I like, because the fabric that I currently like does not exist. It's actually a rug, and it's a designer rug, and so I would have to get it custom printed onto some upholstery fabric, which I've never done before, but I could probably figure it out. So we'll see what happens with that. Stay tuned. Cyrus Beige Ivory Rug. Ooh, okay, so we've got the same one as the other one. Still like the design. If you need a lighter color, go for it. I do like that if you need a light colored rug, something like this is a really good option, because it's got enough going on that if you spill some, well, I was gonna say wine would definitely show up on this, but if you spill some food, or if, you know, your pet has an accident or something, it will not show as much because of all of the pattern and texture and whatnot that is going on. All right, the Architectural Digest Nisa Ink Black Rug. It's definitely pulling on that Moroccan vibe a little bit, which I don't love, but I like that it's in a different colorway that we haven't usually seen before. Yeah, again, not obsessed, but it's good. The Ophelia Bronze Multicolor Rug. Again, from the Founders collection. I feel like I've seen it before. It's pretty, not obsessed, but it's fine. Rowan Bordeaux Rug. Another one from the Founders collection. This one has the medallion, which I don't like as much, but again, if you like the medallion, it's a perfectly fine traditional rug. How much more do I have to go? There's so many more. Okay. Vesper Olive and Gold Rug. This is probably my favorite from the Founders Collection so far. It's got a nice border, and then the pattern on the center of it seems very subtle, which I like. They've got a couple different colorways too. Golden Sapphire. I do not like that one as much, but again, all of this kind of just depends on the context of your space. And then Amber Red, which I imagine is probably going to be pretty classic. Ooh, it's fine, but I definitely don't like that one as much. Yeah, I like this olive one the best. Bowie Charcoal Rug. I feel like there's so much potential with this one. It could be really cool, but it also kind of just looks like it fits in a college guy's dorm room, and I'm conflicted. I think you could style a space well with this, but I don't love it. Piper Plaid Neutral Rug. It's not an exciting plaid. I think that's how I feel about that. Stellan Latte Brown Rug. Yeah, I think it could be a lot more exciting, and it's not. I at least like that there's some dotted lines in there to give a little bit of interest, but Okay, another Jonathan Adler one. Labyrinth Brown and Orange Rug. Okay, I like that. I can see that in multiple spaces, and they've got a ton of different colors. They've got black and ivory, if it'll load. There we go. Not great for pets because of the white background, but brown and orange, which I love. Camel and ivory. Okay, that's basically the same as the black and white. I think just slightly warmer toned. Fern Green. I like that one too. And then Navy and Teal. Yeah, that one's good too. I would stick with the colors for this one. I don't like the ones with the white backgrounds, but those three are good. Please load. There we go. Okay, Jonathan Adler again. Checker border pink and orange rug. It's funky. It's definitely a statement rug. So if you're using this, you definitely need to tone down the rest of the things that are happening in your space. But there is another, what looks like a more beigey color, possibly? No, beigey in the middle, and then chartreuse, which I've been very into, but not necessarily in this application. So I would definitely, I'm feeling this one more. This type of rug is really for like a very specific type of person and a very specific type of home. This will not go in most homes, but the ones that will go in, the Home Edit Sutton Moss green and blue rug. Feels a little preppy. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like a boring plaid. It's fine. I can see it styled in a space, but I don't love it. Ooh, the lavender is bad. Don't do the lavender. Yeah, I definitely like the green and blue better. Evie Vintage Chartreuse Rug. This is either for a kid's room or for a very 60s or 70s room. Yeah, there's not a lot of spaces you could put this. They do have a navy as well, if it'll load. Please load? Yeah, no, the navy isn't good. I don't know where that would go, but yeah, not a big fan of that one. Ooh, Morrison Company Bluebell Soft Black Rug. I do like the rugs that they put out with like William Morris patterns. Gorgeous. They're not going to go in my house because that's not the vibe. But I do love that we've been seeing a little bit of an arts and crafts resurgence recently, so happy about that. They do have another color too. This is just gray. I think the soft black one is more interesting visually. The gray is kind of just like although I feel like you can see more of the detail in this one. Jonathan Adler Op Art Natural Rug. Again, definitely, even in this natural color, very much a statement rug. It feels like it's playing a bit of an optical illusion on you. Let's see, this says teal, but the color looks pink. The middle is pink. Again, you'd have to have very specific colors for that to fit in your space. And there's just a black and white, which is, I'm going to talk about this in one of my next videos, but things that are that high contrast are really intense to have in your home. So I would not recommend black and white. And then Aquarius. Yeah, I don't like that color scheme at all. I think it's the gray background. I don't know. I really don't like it. This natural one and the teal and the pink, if you've got those colors going on, those could be good. Francis Golden Red Rug. The border is very strange because you can see the binding around the edge, which is red, but then the border is not, it's not even all the way around, which it's clearly intentional, but I don't like it. Okay, the teal one is definitely the best. It's fine. The teal one is fine. I don't like the other two. I don't know why. But yeah, we're gonna X that one off. Nico Solid Olive Rug. That sounds like one that we've seen already. Yep. Oh, and I don't think I showed the brown color of this, but they do have brown color, which again, I love because I love brown. So, Millie Sage Green Rug. Ooh, very mod. The space that this goes into has to be so specifically mod and like mid-century inspired, because this is not a versatile rug. This will not last you very long in terms of going with you through all of your design styles. Justina Blakeney Hilma Charcoal Rug. I do kind of love this. I love that it's very much a statement rug without being bright and colorful. Actually, that could be a good option for our living room. And it's not too expensive either. $800. Not mad. This is the colorful version where if you're doing that postmodern Gen Z maximalism thing that's been going around recently, if this will load, I do remember it being very colorful, and I think it would only work in a small handful of contexts. There we go. Yeah, intense color. This feels a little too loud because the pattern is already so loud. Not even pattern. The design is already so loud that I feel like it just doesn't even need the color, to be honest. But yeah, I really love that. Another Justina Blakeney. This is the Nina Indigo and Rust rug. I like it. I'm not mad at it. Again, you would have to have these very specific colors kind of happening in your room already in order for it to work. But I think the colors work really well together. And yeah, this could look really nice. The Architectural Digest Breakout Teal and Chartreuse rug. Again, this is one of those rugs that can only go in a very particular space. You have to really plan around this rug, especially with that hint of purple in there. It's very specific. I like it. I can see it styled in a space. But because of the very specific colors, this is clearly a statement rug and everything else needs to be very simple. You would definitely need more texture everywhere else because this is a very flat rug. There's not a lot of pattern going on or anything, but still very much a statement rug. Okay, the Kavi Diamond Silver rug. It's really boring. It's giving like early 2000s boho. Ugh. Definitely not that one. If you're gonna do one, I guess do the silver. The rose gold is like a little too yellow for my liking. Not a fan. Okay, we've got another Keith Haring. The Block Party Black and Ivy rug. I think black and white is a little boring, and then their other option is the multicolored one. I think I just don't like rugs with white backgrounds. I think is mostly that. It feels kind of unintentional. Like you could have done a pink background with a green line on it or something like that. Or even it going monochrome, like a light blue with a dark blue line. Not obsessed. Okay, the Easton Plaid Charcoal and Natural rug. I don't know, it's just another boring plaid. Like throw some fun colors in there. Mix it up a little. Architectural Digest Kazi Black and Tan rug. I like it. It's very interesting. It's unique. It makes me want to look at it. Again, definitely a statement rug. You'd have to have these colors going on. I feel like I'm just repeating myself at this point. But I do like that it is, again, they've done a really good job of bringing some color in, bringing some interest, making a statement rug that isn't too overwhelming, which I appreciate. Jonathan Adler Paradox Green rug. Again, with those same couple other mod ones, the very 60s, 70s vibes, there's really only so many places you can put this. Like, this design is just so loud, and the color is also so loud that you need a specific space to put that in, and it's not gonna last you very long. I'm not mad at this. I'm curious to see how it would look in a space, and I'm also curious if it would kind of fuck with your sense of perspective a little bit. It feels like one of those optical illusion things, you know, where there's two people who are the exact same height, but then the like angles of the room are going in weird directions, and so one looks taller than the other, and that's what this one is giving me. Don't knock over the camera. Oh, this I like. I didn't even read the name of it. Architectural Digest Monolith Olive Green rug. This is good. This is giving arts and crafts. This is giving art deco. I can see this being in a Frank Lloyd Wright house. Like this is gorgeous. This is probably my favorite one that I've seen so far. Yeah, I just want to keep looking at it. I don't think it would work in our living room though, which is so unfortunate, but gorgeous rug. I think we've seen this one already too. If it'll load. Internet, please. This is just the black version of this rug. Not as much a fan. I think I like the ash gray one better. Also, please ignore the smiley face where the number should be. Okay, the Buffalo Plaid Green and White rug. Boring, but fine. No, not the black and red. Blue and ivory? Red and blue. Ooh. Very patriotic. No, thank you. Red and white, again, What other colors are there? At least there's more colors in this one. Still not my favorite though. And then definitely not that one. Ombre Sapphire rug. Sure. The Gray Malin Palm Springs Natural rug. I like that. Yeah, I like the neutral colorway, and it's just interesting enough to not be boring. I like the repeating geometric pattern. Oh, I wonder if Gray Malin? That sounds like someone's name, and I have no idea who that is or how to pronounce that, so whoops. The Oslo Olive rug. Not mad at it. I like the interesting neutral color. Yeah, again, kind of stripes and checks all in one. Would you like to sneak back through to your room again?
Just need some coffee.
Yep. Okay, the Tempo Black and Sand rug. It's interesting. I haven't seen anything like it before, but it's also kind of boring, and I feel like I've kind of seen it before. So, Fey Natural Pop rug. This is... Oh, this is designed exclusively for Gen Z. This will look dated in about a year or two, but it is cute if that's your style right now, so sure. Justina Blakeney, Sonia Sand and Ocean rug. It's a little too organic and abstract for me personally, but I think it's a good color scheme. I think I like this color scheme better. But yeah, just such a loud statement rug. Freya Ivory and Camel rug. I feel like if you're gonna do that thin of a line, you need more detail in there, but I guess I'm not mad at it. I don't know, if you want like a white rug that's like not just a white rug, it'd be fine. Jean-Michel Basquiat Beat Bop Navy and Ivory rug. I'm not feeling it. I like the big check, but then there's like the exact same thing in every check. I don't know. For some reason, I think I like the black and ivory the best. Another Jean-Michel Basquiat Pegasus spruce green rug. I don't know what's happening there, but at least it gives some interest to the overall rug. Yeah, no, absolutely not that one. And then black and ivory. No. If you're gonna do this, do the spruce green color. Monica Ahanonu celery sage rug. Okay, I'm not mad at that. We've got a lot of interesting stripe action going on. It looks like there's some other colors that are not loading. Yeah, I like it. Effia sumac rug. There's a lot of really small things happening here. I think if the background of this rug weren't quite as white, I would like it more, but it's interesting and not boring at the very least, so I'll give it that. Dasan indigo rug. I like it. I could see it styled in space. Again, I think if the background of it weren't quite as white, I would like it more. This one we've not seen yet. If it'll load. We live halfway underground, so the hotspot here sucks. Lennon Navy Redwood rug. This I like a lot. This is probably my second favorite out of all the rugs that I've seen so far today. I love the color scheme. I love the border. I love the checks. Yeah, that is gorgeous. I would absolutely put that in my own house. Although I don't think that'll work with our current color scheme, but definitely bookmarking for later. Rennie Burgundy rug. It's fine. It's interesting. I like the color scheme. The weird circle thing in the middle is not really doing it for me, but that's fine. Keith Haring one-man show slate blue rug. I like it better than the Jean-Michel Basquiat check rug, because at least this one has different things going on in each one. It kind of feels like a comic strip, if that's the vibe you're going for. Not obsessed with it, but I see the inspiration. Keith Haring Delancey ivory and blue rug. No. This is just trying to be a traditional rug, and that is not doing it for me. And there's the soft black option. That one's slightly better, but I still don't like it. Okay, this is the last one. Hopefully it's one that we have not seen already. Dress Stewart tartan khaki rug. At least it's a more interesting plaid than we've seen before. I like the colors better. Ooh, that is very like Christmas cabin. Oh, that one's even more Christmas cabin. Okay, nope. If you're gonna do one, get this khaki one, but I don't know. There's no border. So that's all of the rugs. Ignore all of my Craigslist stuff. And I should probably film some sort of actual outro for this video, except my partner's about to murder me because he needs to take a shower and go to work. So, like, subscribe, bye. Okay, you can go now.
Don't put in my partner's about to murder me, because I'm not. I'm about to just cry and call in sick. I'm gonna drink this coffee in the shower.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Are you done recording things?
Yeah.